Hello. There we go. Hello. There was a ding. Did you all hear the ding? There was a ding. So today, this is gonna probably ding again. It didn't ding. Today we're doing some GE work. And I forgot to add something here, so just bear with me for a second. Blue. Lock components. Keep aspect ratio. Lock is adjunct. And it's resize. And that should now allow me to do this. But for some reason it's not working because there is permissions required. Okay. Apply. Don't hide permission alerts. Apply. Okay. Oh, I've done something silly. Oh no! That was not the right thing. Input visualizer. Just want to make sure this is working, so. It is, but it's freaking tiny. Just pop that down there. Okay, so it's showing everything that I'm doing. Hello, everybody! I was just making sure everything was working today. So you can see my inputs, you can see the alt keys. Mainly going to be used here today. Both mouse buttons will be used quite a bit. And oh! That's not working at all, is it? Bear with me. Okay, so whatever I've just done is fixed it. How do you get the keyboard and mouse thing? It's actually a plugin for XSplit that I never knew I had until last week. So this will allow you guys to see exactly what I'm doing. So, let's have a look at the spline placement here. Nothing has been placed. Where is this spline? That spline can actually be used again. So if I were to move the... whoops. The end point, which is just way off over there, to there. The start point to there. Why is that not wanting to work? Control B, click. Because it's not selected the start point itself. It's an interesting little problem. Let's look at how that looks. Mostly straight. The end point can actually come... just because I want to be sure that it's going to work properly. The end point can go to there. Page down, just to lock that to the ground. And whoop. Uh-oh. There we go. Load us to Dave. The midpoint is not correct there. Just want to try and get this so there's no curve whatsoever. Okay, so select the transform group, script, spline placement, execute, and boom. I am really glad I made that alteration. This is gonna have to be duplicated and just brought out a teeny weensy bit there, like that. And now all these can be cut and put into the bushes transform group. So now we have 5,239 bushes on the map. Don't know how well the transform group's going to work with that, but there's 5,239 bushes. Can I use the same spline for this? I can, you know. So if I get this spline, this is a really silly idea. I'm gonna just flop it over here. How is it suddenly longer? Let's move that there. Move that there-ish. Move that to over there. So there's a bit of a curve to this one. I'd like this field to be a bit curved. And just page down. I'd lock it to the ground. Move it out a bit. There we go. And do the same thing again. Boom. Ah! That happens sometimes. So does this. Duplicate and just plop that in there. And the little trick here is Control-Shift copy. Control-Shift paste. Nudge it back a bit. How's that looking with the angle? That all looks pretty good. The grass will actually cover up the bottom bits of this pretty nicely. I don't know how the... Can somebody tell me how the, Dusty Dave's getting over his cold. Very nice, Dave. I've inspired you to make a map. That's always good. Because people think the maps are these really complicated things right until they see somebody actually making one, and it's suddenly a lot easier. Thought I was doing with all the hedges. In the central portion, yes. So, just for Pedro's benefit here, that's all the hedges that are currently in the map. I'm gonna hedge along here, and along these three sides of this field. Same with kind of up to about here on this field, and then over this bit here. Most of the central portion's probably going to be hedged. There's going to be a few walls and a few fences thrown in for good measure. And it's going to be pretty... It's going to come together pretty quickly from here, I think. Especially the whole bit where there are hedges and walls going, because that's all spline placements. Hello, Super Monkey. And Valtraman. So I want to show you guys, while I'm streaming, a bit that I did the other day. As a bit of a test, and it's just over here. So I was playing about with foliage layers, and you can see me testing out the 3 grass foliage layers and 4 hedge foliage layers, and I came up with something that looks a bit like... I can get this in focus roughly. Something that looks a bit like this for the roadways. Like I genuinely think that looks nice. There's a bit of overlapping and weirdness going on. I think if I redefine the additional foliage layers, that might sort it. Do I have the yard built yet? No. How do you do spline placement with the hedges? Well, I'll give you a really quick tutorial because it's really quick and really easy. Which part of the map was I even working on? Let's see, this area is all done. Whoop. Let's see, if I put a hedge here, I'll show you using this line here, okay? So you gotta download from marhu.net. I need to find the actual name of it, so bear with me a minute. That was the wrong tab. So Marhu, not Marbu, marhu.net. You can see that I've got. Can you see? You can see that I've got an inappropriate amount of stuff going on here. And what you're going to need to go to is Sonstige, I believe. Yes, Sonstige. And then GE script Objekte entlang Spine platzieren. And that is going to be place objects along spline. You'll need to download this and just make do with that. And once you're in game, then once you're in GE, you need to make a transform group, with the parent being called spline placement, and you'll need 3 objects. One is objects to place, and there you put what you want being put down by the spline. You'll need placed objects, which is where things placed by the spline will go. And you'll need a spline. A spline is via create spline, but I've got one just kind of on my workbench down here. Because it's a lot easier to have a little bit of a workbench going on when you're doing this. You can see I've got the fence, barbed wire, my bushes, and a stone wall ready to go if I need them. So to put the spline in, you just plop it down where you want, and there's 2 or 3 different ways to do this, and I think everybody will do it differently anyway, so it's all down to personal preference. All I do is I put the start point there, the end point, and go in back here a bit farther than I actually want it to be. And how's that looking right now, actually? I want this to have a bit of a curve, so if I were to just put that like that, and in the middle point, go... You'll probably need more than just the one middle point, I'm going to be honest. You're going to need multiple middle points. For areas like this where there's a lot of curves, you'll need plenty of them. Just think of it like putting a rope around a bunch of sticks. And the more sticks you have, the tighter the rope comes together. That's the kind of idea with splines. That's how I see it anyway. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. So then you can select your spline placement, and to put the script into G, you'll need to go to scripts, create new script, and I'm actually going to bring up the script itself here. You got a window that's pretty empty. You just paste it in, and you get, what, 222 lines of stuff going on. This parameter section here in the edit window, you will need to change this a lot. It'll take a lot of fine-tuning for every little item, but it does tend to work pretty well. So while I'm in here, I can actually hit execute, and it'll place my hedges. It just saves a bit of work. Can I just... we'll do a bit of nudging here. Because I think I can get this so that I don't need to... I'll need to duplicate one at the other end regardless, so... Maybe I should have nudged the entire spline along a small bit, but I wouldn't have known that would have been an issue. Pedro's happy because I'm not fine-tuning the... Why are the hedges getting bigger gaps? I think I'm fine-tuning these too much. I think I'm moving them more than 8 meters. Oh well, even if I need to duplicate one at the end, it's not a big deal. For plant in seasons, if you plant a crop at 10 degrees ground temperature and you plant it at 4 degrees, would it be good? Usually yes. And hello Etho. And WD Agri, Hardworker 8340. I do apologize if I'm not overly active with chat today. I am obviously concentrating on the... Yeah, I'm moving these so that they're closer together, aren't I? Oh well, I can duplicate 1 or 2 at the end. How do you get the hedges and fences in the transferring group? That's actually easily done. I'll show you in a sec. So I'm going to just do a couple of examples here. So, to get a transferring group, you... Hang on, I'll need to turn off... my overlay. And my... Where is it? My webcam real quick. So up here you'll see the create option, which actually isn't being shown, but just up out of shot, annoyingly, is the create option. You hit create transfer group, it'll create a new transfer group down at the very bottom here. To get something in, you copy the item, like this spline, you paste it in, and then you get your spline in a transfer group. Now to get rid of the transfer group, you just press delete. It's that easy. It's all copying, pasting, cutting and pasting when you're working with objects like this. And I actually want to fix this field real quick. Terrain detail. I do love terrain detail layer 000. because that is just bog standard cultivated ground. You can see that I got some grass down here that's foliage level 1-6. You were raking hay yesterday evening, very nice. So that's that done. I can probably, yeah, I can reuse that spline if I move it to here. And here's the fun, is sometimes you can reuse splines. Sometimes I don't want to be reselected afterwards. There we go. End can go there. Start can go here. And the midpoint, which doesn't want to be selected. And Dave, I know that I'm doing this the awkward way, but it seems to work for me. Overlay and face cam. Oop, my bad. Face cam. That's the wrong overlay. Where's my overlay? Overlay. How do you make the spline for the hedge? You create a spline. It's like create up at the top in the toolbar and then spline. It's literally just like 2 or 3 buttons you'll ever really need when you're doing this kind of stuff. Is that looking good? I believe PCSG have a tutorial on how to do it, so I would recommend looking for that. Can't remember who exactly made the tutorial, but there is one available on the YouTubes. Look for place object along spline. And that will give you your... No, that's not what I wanted to put into. Yeah, bushes. So we're now up to 5,301 bushes, which would have taken me 2 or 3 days. I'm still logged into Steam. Because I am a genius. And I was kind of rushed getting the stream going. I'll move that over there. There we go. How's that look? That looks actually really good. So it looks like these fields are all square, but they're actually not, because the roadway is going to influence the shape of the fields. And I don't know why this field just stops like that, but it does. How do you get to place the object? You'll need to have the script. You'll need to have the script itself. It's not a default function in G. It's a convenience thing. So let's see. How do I want to do this? Do I want the... I think I want the hedge running up here and to stop at about this point. So we'll use a new spline. Conveniently, this spline just needs to be extended drastically. There we go. Start can be there and can be up here. Do I think the end needs to be moved forward a bit? Yes. Because even if it puts an extra one in, I can just nudge it back or get rid of it entirely. Script, spline placement, execute. There we go. Yep, there we go. It's... I hate how it sometimes just randomly pops the one of the start up at 90 degrees for some reason. There we go. So that's that in. Nice straight line. And how far over is this? That's over so much it can just be deleted. And these can go into the bushes transform group. Now the reason that I'm doing bushes all in one go is because it's a lot easier to just have the script set up for one specific thing, run all of those specific things through it, and then worry about something else later. Hello Thingy. What do you need to search on YouTube for the tutorial? Place object along spline, John said it tutorial, I guess. Stand by, you might need some help. It's actually a pretty easy script to learn. It's a nice one. It's a really well behaved one. too close to the hedge there. So I'm gonna probably work on the final shape of the fields once I got the hedges and stuff in. Because that's all that dictates the final shape of the fields, really, is where the hedges actually are. I'm using these rough shape fields as kind of a guideline for where the hedges are going to go, but they're not the be-all and end-all. I've moved bits of road and bits of hedge already to suit. So, I'm going to need a new spline here. Copy that into there. What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to leave the placed objects accumulate for a little bit. I'm a bit curious about something. So start point can go there, end point can go there. How's that looking? That's actually looking really good. There's a bit of green there that I don't want. So script, spline placement, execute. There we go. Boom. Ah, I didn't have the correct transform group selected. Spline placement, execute. There we go. Perfect. This can be nudged back a bit, away from the road. This can be duplicated and nudged forward a bit. Now I know I could have just moved them all, but yeah, effort. And that is now that hedge in, which is curved, which I didn't really want, but it'll do. Did I place the roads manually? Yes. I did actually place the roads manually. They're all individually, manually, painstakingly placed. And they are a pain. They took probably over a year to do just because I was being so pedantic about where they went. That actually looks quite good to me, so go up and go to spline placement and just execute. There we go. So we'll need to move this one back and away from the road like that. We'll need to move this one. We'll duplicate it first and move it forward. And most of that'll be hidden by grass, so it's fine. Hello, Tom McDonough. Hello, Dal. So this is how GE works. I mean, this is making in a nutshell, for me at the moment, is just working with splines near constantly, and it's coming together at a good rate because, I mean, part of what I wanted to do to get the placed objects duplicated like that was, this is what I placed in the last 5 minutes. That would have been a night or two before. Far into the hedge was floating. Which hedge? That hedge looks fine. I mean, it's not too floaty. Some of these look like they're floating, but keep in mind that when the grass gets put in, all the different texture layers will be put in around it, that they will actually be hidden. Fergus McKeown, you were talking to me in another video. I can't remember that, because I have a terrible memory. So, does this have hedges in? It does not, so we'll just move the spline over to here. And can I just straight up... Yeah, if I were to grab the end point here and just move it backwards like that, I can run the script straight away. Boom. Oh, it's done that annoying 90-degree thing again. So to copy all three at once, by the way, it's Control-Shift and C, and then to paste it, it's Control-Shift-V. Which is incredibly useful when you're copying coordinates. You're the fellow that said Isigi. My hedges have collisions. Yes. They have a collision box hidden in the middle. But the hedges themselves do not have collisions. So for those of you who are thinking about making maps, maybe look at the spline placement script because it is a major time saver. What I've got done so far today would have taken me a full night before. And that's not exaggerating or anything, this is literally just in the last, what, 25 minutes I've done what would have been a full night's work before. Page down. And I want to double check this bit's okay. There we go. Hello, Mark. You're from Armagh? Oh, very nice, Fergus. Select. Okay, maybe having what 100 hot edges, 78 hedges in this placed objects transform group isn't the best idea. But execute. So it's now gone up to 100 odd. Exactly 100. That's kind of impressive, actually. Not gonna lie. So the difficulty with doing it this way, and I've just realized, is that I'm now going to have to try and match up that was actually not the right thing to do. So what I did there was I selected the collision box. That's what I wanted to do. How's that hedge looking? Yeah, it's good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all these hedges now up to the main hedge group. So, cut. And this 100 hedges can go into the main hedge group. They're going to be highlighted for a moment. And just for reference, that is now how many hedges are in the map. It comes together very quickly with this thing. I'll need to delete that spline because I'll be wanting a new one. Let's copy this spline into here. And I guess we'll do some awkward stuff. Let's see, what's an awkward spot to try and do here? I'm gonna say this here. So let's place the spline down. Grab our start point. Grab the start point. Pop it. Oh, it's gonna actually go to about. Where do I want this? If I want that. If I have this field entered through that yard, that's too small a yard. That can be a house. So we'll say the entrance to this field is going to be about there-ish. And the entrance, regardless, is going to be a stoppage there. So this isn't the case where I can just plop that, you know, there and be done with it, because you can see the spline curves. Oh, it's gone over the road there. Gone over the road there, gone over the road there, and gone over the road there. So it's not going to be a case of I can just dump the spline wherever I want. So we're going to press insert a bunch of times. And we're now going to use the arrow keys to navigate through the points on the spline. The reason I've created so many is just so that it is manageable through this corner, because I want it to be not too wibbly. I've probably made it really wibbly, but I can adjust the individual points in the spline later. You can see now that it's just melding and molding to where I want it to be. How many times did I press that damn thing? Luckily you can, just as easily as you can place things, you can hit delete and get rid of them. So how's this corner looking? Very wibbly indeed. So if I were to move that to there-ish, less wibbly. If I were to move this in a bit, much less wibbly. And going up there, it's mostly straight, that's fine. So, spline placement scripts, spline placement execute, and How does that look with regards to the road? Back a bit, but that's fine. You can see here that these bits on the actual corner itself have gone a bit wonky, but that's fine because you can, whoops, just grab little tweakers and just give them a bit of a tweak. Remove it or tweak. In fact, that needs to go like that roughly. And if I move this one to match up with that, should look somewhat legit. And whoa, okay. Hate when my alt key gets stuck like that. And how does that intersection look? That looks really good, actually. I'm happy with that. And that's, what, 46 hedges placed in 2 seconds flat. That easy. How are we now, Chris? How'd you delete scripts? You don't need to in G. That's the thing, is the G scripts will just stay forever. Because you can use them as and when you want them. And they don't actually impact on anything other than the exact thing you're using them for in G. Don't want a hedge to run along there. I'm gonna say no for now. I am, however, gonna want a hedge running from definitely here to about here. So if I delete that spline, we got a new spline. There we go. Hey, Stan Lomas, how am I? I'm good. Hello, Brandon Joggin. Black Agri videos, hello, sorry. Ah. A bit of a coffee break for a second. Because I haven't had my coffee today. That was the last bits of my coffee. So, will Seasons be compatible with this map? Seasons is compatible with every map. Will this map be 100% compatible with Seasons? Yes, I will be putting Seasons scripting in. But that'll be something towards the very end. That's going to be one of the last things put in. Because I'll need to know exactly where the final positionings of the buildings are. And that's not going to be known until the end. Until it's done. So feel free to ask me questions. I might not be able to check chat 100% of the time, but every time I look at chat, I'll try and pick out a couple of questions to answer. Hello, Ella McGonagall. Somehow I managed to misread your name as Ella McGingle, which was kind of entertaining, but not at the same time. Okay, I'm doing it Matt's way this time. Matt will be pleased. So this time we're going to do it the exact opposite way to the way I just did, where I'm starting at the start point and working my way back because I made a boo-boo. Hello, Luke. Can I put the link to the script? I never actually put a link into the script, did I? Hang on a second. So there's the link to the script. And it's just a case of... You can see how useful it is because it's just... It just kind of pulls the map together quickly. Might not be the... It's not the most efficient way to do it. As much as it might seem that way. I actually want that point to be very specifically there. And I'm not sure how I moved the end point there, but the end point should have been there, in fact. So the end point should be there, which means this point needs to go as well. And now we fix the corner because it's wibbly. I actually think if I move that to Problems somewhat soft. And there's nothing crossing the road there. Good. Execute. You're gonna have to tweak some of those because they're not gonna be in the right places at all. Whoops! Yeah, if you press Control F, it'll bring something straight up to the camera, like this. There's the hedge. I don't see how that's useful, but it's a thing that can happen. You're making a map at the moment. Is the right to place hedges fast? I want to say yes. Yeah, use the spline placement script. Because all these hedges were put in about a minute. All, how many? 26 of these hedges. You might notice, if you're watching in like 720, possibly it'll show up. I'm reading the number +1. So this says 5472 over here. Oh, it's under chat, isn't it? So the number here, index path is 10 greater than 5472. That means it's the 5473rd hedge, because if I go way up to the top of this transform group, the first item is number 0. So when you're counting stuff in G, you automatically add 1. When you're looking for the position of something in a transform group, you automatically take 1 away. It's a really weird system, but that's the way that it works. How's that looking? I knew there'd be some silliness. Not much though, because it's just like the odd one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. The link does not work. You need to be a member of Maru's forum to access that link potentially. But it does work. What version of G do I have? 7.1.0. Keep your G up to date, guys, because otherwise you'll run into issues. Oh, this is a really nice place to show off how spline placement works, I've just realized. Because this area here is the entrance to this field here, which should get a circle on it in a second. This field here, and this field here. So it's a treble field entrance. Whoops. That's what happens when there's a moment of lag. It's a treble field entrance, which means that as silly as it sounds, I can just paint this back in. I can actually fence all up along here, or I don't want to fence it. No, I'll hedge it. I can actually hedge all along here, the entire perimeter of this field, and ridiculously enough, oh, I might use this field as a go-through field. I might leave a space here for an entrance. But I can hedge off there, and then go along the entirety of that line. 7.1 does not work to place cow nav mesh for you. Yes, it does, you're just not doing it right. Something in G isn't working, it's usually something you're not doing right. Because I've got a cow nav mesh, oh, it's deleted me cow nav mesh. Why is it deleted me cow nav mesh? View, show... Oh, because it's not actually being shown. My cow nav mesh is... I have set the wrong field aside for the cows. Grass. So this is an interesting problem that I wasn't expecting. I've actually set the wrong one of these two fields aside for the cows. So just fix this real quick. So we'll need terrain detail 0, 0. Just to get this back into place. Didn't hedge out this end of the wall, did I? No. It's gonna go off on a random tap. No, it didn't, because fantastic. So you guys get to see something interesting here in a second. Because what I'll be doing in a minute is oh, the reason I'm going off over to this side is you can't actually place cultivated ground while you've got a crop selected, and you can't delete crop while you've got cultivated ground selected. So to fix that little bit of grass there, I actually had to change brushes. Hello, Via. Well, I'll do. Thank you, Pedro. As if you haven't done stupid stuff like this before either. But you know what, if I actually just go nuclear on this. There we go, bring the brush down. Just for now at least, I'm just going to draw in the field edges. Just for ease. I might even put them in here in a sec. Something more like that. Just right off the corner. Yeah, we'll color in, why not? Color in between the lines. And that's how a field gets made in Giants Editor. Even if you've mucked it up and it wasn't supposed to be. There you go. Now for the annoying bits where you've clearly messed up and got in between the lines.
Hello, Dave. Dave.
Farmer Brown, hello. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. There we go. Hello, the underused. Trying to do mod review software. What do I use for editing? I use Adobe Premiere. That has definitely gone out of the boundaries. So the Giant's grass, with which I am so in love for grass fields, is this nav mesh is smaller than the hang on. Just gonna leave that like that because I'm confused now. Let's go back over here. Just scoot away. Oh, nuts. Alt key stuck again. There we go. Right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get this line here done. Where's this spline? Ah, it's effectively at the source still. Okay, so start point, which is gonna be there-ish. Come on. Grab the start. Grab the start. There we go. Can go there. Endpoint can go here. And we'll just insert 8 points in between. That should be enough for me to get a decent spline out of it. Because with this, it doesn't matter if it's a bit rough. There's not a hedge that is bounding a road. In fact, I don't even need all the points I gave myself. And that came together really fast, actually. that came together a lot faster than I'd anticipated. So applying placement execute, and there we go. Oh, it's done this. Dang it, G. I don't know why it sometimes stands the end one up like that, or the beginning one, but it does. There we go. And now we have the fun task of figuring out what's gone wrong over here, because there's a bit of wonkiness. Oh, these are just angled at a weird angle. Also at the wrong angle. It's just occurred to me. This is what was wrong. And it is this easy to fix things. Like, as Pedro was very fast to drill into me before, hedges don't need to be perfect, they just need to look roughly good enough. Because nowhere in reality is a hedge perfectly aligned. That is wrong, Dave. There we go. It also proves that circles are just a series of straight lines, oddly enough. Whoops. So that can be cut and thrown way up here into the main bush transform group. So let's have a look at our progress with the bushes now, very quickly. So we zoom way out and get the that meshes away like that. The bushes now covering a good proportion of the map. See you back. First proper Irish map. Yeah, I'm putting... Is there a way to make mobile grass taller in G? I think so, actually, the moose. Don't quote me on that. We got a few map makers in here that might be able to tell you more about it. Are you like, no you are not, Alvinus? Just gonna... do that real quick. You can make grass taller. Official word from Pedro. I need to make mine more dense, potentially, because that's not very pretty. Hello, Ian Wilson. Alright, so next item on the agenda. Let's get rid of this spline, because we're going to need a new one. You can see how map making is a lot like art. Hello, Mr. L. You can kind of see, as this is coming together, how map making could be considered an art. Because, like down here I got my work area, which is just my little palette of things that I'll be needing in the near future. You know, spare splines so I can make more splines, some... I saw something that wasn't supposed to be there. Am I still on 0-2 or just plain 0? Just plain 0. It's... Whoops! That was the wrong point. That can go over there for a second. That happens sometimes. I'm gonna need a few points here. I'll put in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is gonna be a 5-point spline. Just leading to where I want it to. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the 6-point spline? 5, 6. And it's as easy now as just tweaking the different points to get the exact shape you want. Just little nudges here and there. Then you can run the script. Bada bing, bada boom. Has it stood the start point up again? No, it hasn't. However, this one's going to have to get some tweaks because the... Oh, never mind. Kind of surprised that's all come together really fast and really easily. Gotta be honest. That said, the spline was just a nudge too short because I need to duplicate 2 bits there. More bushes. I think Pedro's just enjoying the fact that things are actually coming together and not being a perfectionist at the moment. Am I going to use the reasonable hedges? No. Absolutely no hope. I don't like them. I don't see the point of them. Plus, I mean, if you want bigger fields, you know, you got that field there is nice and big, 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 that field there is nice and big. You got two nice big fields here, and some really nice small ones as well for your smaller equipment. So there is zero chance, a 0% chance of me using deletable hedges. Drive on, fix it later. Yeah, worry about the grass at a later date. Not my problem right now. It's been a long time to read the squirrel. I don't actually, but that's mainly because I got the memory of a squirrel. Particularly excitable squirrel at that. Let's see. So if I bring this down to there. So if I were to start... Dang it. Start here. And I actually know what I'm doing here for once, which is nice. Here. And 7 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Whoops. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And this one can get nudged that way. This one can get nudged actually in this direction. That. Here's how you work out corners with splines. Is just various little nudges in various different directions to get the kind of corner you want. I want this to be a bit of a flat corner. Because it's going to be leading into two other fields. There we go. And run the script. That's caused wonkiness. But it's fine. Mostly. I'm not going to worry about foliage layers just yet because that's a problem for later. That's a terrible spline actually. That is a really bad spline. I'll need another probably 2 points there even. Just to define that that is a corner there. I want to stretch this corner out a bit. I want to define this kind of area here. This is just an awkward spline to place. Because I want to try and keep the hedges back from the road a bit. But at the same time I want them to be tight. So it's a tough balance to strike here. Hello, Mighty Flame Chicken. Well, back when I was playing... probably Project Cars, which... Project Cars 2 isn't too far away. I might end up getting that. I'm not 100% sure yet about Project Cars 2. It's not shouting at me that it's a game that I should get. As much as it annoys Pedro that I'm on the fence about it. Because Project Cars 1 was such a letdown, they're promising the exact same stuff for Project Cars 2. And very little of what they've said so far has actually been encouraging to me. It's sounding a lot like generic racing game number 3 with nonsense going on. There we go. Accidentally selected one of the rows at that point there, so here we go. Right. Hello, Massey Lover. Just stopping by to say, well, thank you very much. Will Bill continue West Coast after Cobra? I don't know. I'd guess so. I'd hope he does. I think Cobra was just kind of a, I'm bored, let's spend 5 minutes just touching up Cobra and then release the edit kind of situation. Because he didn't change too much in Cobra for V3. This is going to be an interesting one because this is going to be a super long spline. Like, this is one of the... Well, this is definitely the longest one I've placed today. Not one of the longest that I've ever placed, but... Come on. I actually need to zoom in to be able to click this. So how many points do I need? I'll put in like 9, I think that was. Just to be sure here. Look at his Facebook, he's not modding anymore. Did he seriously say that? Because what I heard was he was complaining about people not giving Cobra V3 5 stars, which... It kinda, I think, left a bad taste in some people's mouths. Because he kinda came off as being a bit, well, you know, if my map isn't perfect, then it's clearly not good, you know, clearly too good for you guys. You guys think it's not perfect when it is, and yeah, it kinda came off badly. Yeah, he's complaining about Cobra not getting high stars, and I'm not going to go into my thoughts on that right now, but... I don't think he should have said what he did, I'll put it that way. I think he should have kept stum. I know that I say a lot of stuff that I should have kept quiet, but I'm still, relatively speaking, a nobody in farm sim circles. Bullet Bill, not so much. Bullet Bill is very much a somebody, and I think he made a big mistake. I think he made a mistake. Do I download all 3 scripts? I've only got the actual placement one, which is what's it called? Spline placement.lua is the only one I actually have. I think I've got spline placement v1.3 .lua, but that's literally all I have. You don't need to have all of them. Pedro remembers the days, and I'm sure he does because it's surely burned into his skull, where I was taking 5-10 minutes per hedge. Now I've just placed, you know, almost 1,000 in an hour. And that is coming together rather nicely. Yeah, there was nothing new to the map. I don't think V3 was a 5-star map. Yeah, you were taking seconds to do a feel, but I think you can agree, Pedro, that I've sped up. I've sped up so much that I can even take a couple of short little breaks just to... Oh, look. It's 4.2 now. Yeah, but he was complaining that it wasn't... Okay, do you know what? I'm gonna talk about it because why not? Bullet Bill was effectively complaining that he wasn't making enough money off Cobra V3. Now, that's not something a mapper should say. Do I think he deserves to be paid for his work? Absolutely. Do I think he's a great mapper? Absolutely. Do I think maybe he should have shut up and not said what he did? Absolutely. Because that was a really dumb thing to say. He's left a bad taste in people's mouths, especially other mappers. I mean, he's in a very privileged position where, let's face it, he's only ever released one map. He's only ever released Coldbra. And he's made a name for himself. Oxygen David can, you know, has the quality and he releases a buttload of maps. I've just realized that something weird is... Oh, it's because of the... Does that mean there's two mice at some points here? That's a problem I didn't anticipate. I can actually fix that real quick. By... That's not what I wanted. No. Just gonna fix something here real quick. There we go. Now I've got no mouse. Fantastic. I want Giant Zedder to show a mouse, please. Whoops. Alright, there we go. Now I got a mouse in G. So you can actually see what I'm pointing at. There we go. Push that back in there. How's that looking? That looks fine. Push this back in here. How's that looking? That looks fine. That looks a bit floaty to me. Come on, give me the blue circle, please. Pedro, I know you said not to worry about the hedges, but these are floaty. A bit too floaty for my liking. Just a little nudging that makes them look better. What you just call the script in G, whatever you want. I've got mine called spline placement. Whatever will help you to recognize what script it is what you should call it. Yeah, floating is fixing for sure. To be fair, I can fix that real quick. No, I'll need the one that's at 0, 0. Okay, so this needs to be 0, 0, 0. And I want to translate Y down 0.06. Freeze transformations. Apply. So that should have, in theory, nudged every single... Oh. Apply. Okay. Let's move it back up 0.06. And now move it back down 0.06. That somehow has not worked. Okay, let's continue fixing this until they're no longer so floaty. Move it down to 4.1. 1.1. Not entirely sure how I'm managing to screw this up, but I'm screwing this up. Oh, I'm making them more floaty. Wait, did I just screw that up even more? Oh yeah. There we go, that should have nudged them down a bit. It didn't. There, no longer so floaty. They will not be so floaty in future either. These ones, however, seem to be more floaty. I'm gonna do the PDA when map is finished. Yeah. Ernie, I'm not gonna say much more of this, but I completely agree with what you just said. Well, hopefully, what I can do here, if it's gonna behave like that, is I can do something a bit smart. I can do that. Freeze its transformations like that. I just want to double check that these now haven't stopped being floaty, because I want to try something here. Oh, they've stopped being so floaty! Okay, so that's fixed the floatiness.
Hello, Dave. Is that Dave?
James
Dave,
White, hello. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. So I've stopped being so floaty. Now if I hit preserve instances and move this... Why is it being so weird? Interesting. Move this along X. Whoops. Whoops. 4. 5, okay. And along Z, 5. Okay, so 4. And, okay, 3 and 3. That'll also work. So what I want to do here is have this moved in such a way that the...
Hello, Dave. Is that Dave? Dave there.
What did I just move then? Okay, so I want to move this to about there. Hopefully I haven't just screwed up every hedge on the map. I have not. I screwed up every hedge in this area. I have also not, so I think if I were to just really quickly blop that down there. Yes! Fantastic! I'm gonna have to recalibrate stuff, but that is exactly what I wanted to do. Also, that's annoying. Spline script isn't working. Yes, it is. You're just using it wrong. Wait, it's this area I need to worry about. Oh my god, everything's still in place. Ah! This is gonna make everything a lot easier. You scoot back, sir. This is actually gonna make everything a buttload easier from here on out. Because yes, I'm gonna have to recalibrate the script itself, but I can show you, in fact, what's gonna happen now. Because this object here is the spline I've just, or the object I've just been screwing with. You can see 000 is now actually located at the end. And if I were to put a spline, where was I just looking that needed a spline? Ah, there. This is how something happens. Something beautiful is about to happen. Now it's going to need some calibration because it's set up for the hedges to have the source point in the middle. And can I actually get away with doing this? Holy crap! I can get away with a single point on this spline. That's stupid. But okay. Keep GE up to date, guys, because Giants fix things with GE when there's problems. I can't believe that is a single point spline. So, this is going to be wrong, but let's execute so that I can see what I need to fit. Okay. I've unintentionally made it perfect. This is exactly what Matt was trying to get me to do last week, and I screwed up. But that is exactly what I wanted to happen. I'm not giving Matt the joy of knowing he was right, but hey. We're almost done with edges, it looks like. We're only going to need another couple of splines. I can reuse this one here. There. There. And we'll say there. Roughly. And just run the cute again. Oh my god, that is beautifully perfect. Pedro, I did something that should have been stupid, but it worked. How am I supposed to feel about this? Because usually when I do something stupid, it doesn't work ever. I don't know how to feel about this. Because what I fully expected to happen there was all of my hedges to break again. Yo, man, Jack. Doing some landscaping. Ooh, very fancy. This is gonna be funky. This is gonna be fun. So I'm gonna want... I'm gonna start with a new spline entirely here. Just because that one's gonna be a bit weird. Copy, paste. Gonna have our start point... Wait. Start point goes here. End point... can go... we'll say... here. It's gonna be a really short spline, but it's gonna be very important at the same time. Because this is gonna define the entrance to two different fields. This is only gonna have like 4 edges in it. I know that. It's... okay, so now... it's just putting random ones into the ground. That's fantastic. In fact, that wouldn't be better off over here. I can copy this. And plop it onto that. Like... ah! Yes, that is a problem. Can I have these turned the other way? Whoops, I've just placed... I think I just placed another set of hedges. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, then. Oh, well, I didn't have the correct transfer grid selected. That was kind of lucky. Okay. Because I want to go into the script editor real quick. How do I turn that 180 degrees? It's hardly just going to be a case of minus 90. Nope. 270, I guess. It's gonna be hard to put the calibers and the combines on this map. Yes, that is kind of the intention. Venus. It is supposed to be a super tight, difficult map. Much like real life. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do here is get rid of these 5 and just revert it back to the way it was, because those clearly didn't work. Yes, save the changes. Execute spline. Why is this one just... Yep, this is the way I sit now. I mean, that's actually completely unnecessary as a point. I should duplicate this one and just bring it over here. Oh, okay, you got stuck again. Yeah. That's worked out in my favor, hasn't it? It's actually worked out way in my favor. Apparently at some point I chose the road system. So here now, what do I want to do? It's just like, yeah, here in Ireland, for those of you who are watching who are not in Ireland, hang on, let me just real quick, just get up a random place here in Google Maps. Intentionally gonna go to a different part of the county. So, does this have... So look at how this looks. It's still a regional road. Is there like a laneway here or anything? Satellite imagery, please. 660. Let's see. Is that a lane? That looks like a lane. Yep. So for those of you who are watching who aren't from Ireland, this is what a laneway looks like here a lot of the time. Very tight, no room. You can see the field is pretty much up right up to the edge of the area. And if you go down here a bit further, there should be a gateway, hopefully. That looks like a gateway into the field, kind of. But like, there's no room to do anything. It's amazing that anything ever gets done in Ireland. Hey, Nathan. And Jay. Like, it is a small wonder that any farming ever gets done, because the field entrances are... I've just realised that hedges are in fact a bit screwed up, aren't they? Or... oh no, I just didn't tweak this bit when I put it in. That's actually kind of fine. Like, that's how the like the little laneway systems like this work in Ireland. Is there's no room to do anything. Okay, so this entrance then can I use this? Yeah, I'll use this spline again because I got one point in the middle. Fine. can start there, ish. This will end opposite to there, like that. This is going to be the last use of this spline because I'm about to pop in a buttload of extra points. There we go. This needs to be aligned to the edge of the road. Now I'm giving a bit extra room on the roadsides just to be nice, because I could be evil and have these, you know, butted right up against the roads, but that wouldn't make much sense. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough. So delete. I feel like the broken RainbowDave at the moment. Delete, delete, delete. There we go. That's looking pretty good. These edges are a bit wonky. So that is easily fixed with some tweaks. There we go. It's a lot less harsh of a turn now. Of course, I keep randomly selecting bits of road. That looks good to me. We'll run the script. And that still looks good to me. Isn't that like a random bit that's been thrown to the ground, is there? No. Fantastic. So that can go into the main bushes transfer group. There you go. Will the edges have collisions? Yes. Says objects placed not present. You need something in your objects to place transform group, dude. You can't just have it empty. You need to like have a hedge or something in there. Well, welcome back, German Pointer, as well. I'm doing my best to answer questions while working, so apologies if I miss your question, but feel free to ask away. Where's this kind of logical conclusion? So it's going to start there and actually end here. So this is going to be a monstrous spline, good lord. Hello, Mike K. Is there a way to stream my phone plus 7 screen? I don't know. Honestly, do not know. You're here to break things, Matt. Well, I've got bad news for you, sir. I retook the advice you gave me last week and you were right. I just screwed up the way that I was doing it last week. So, I broke it last week, not you. How many more points do I have to play with here? Not many, but looks of it. I may have to actually introduce more points to this spline. Because this is a very bumpy road going down here. It's in fact the same point that I just moved, isn't it? Oh wow, I'm out of points. So I'm gonna have to actually introduce more. This is the problem with super long splines, is sometimes you'll just run out of points. I'm basing it off a real area by me. Granted, the positioning of pretty much everything is going to be mostly fictional. the actual field layout is based on an area nearest me. As is the DEM. So this is an actual real area near me. But I'm fictionalizing a lot of the map just because I can. I can go like there, and actually I want one more point just to reinforce that there. Let's see how this looks. I need another point there just to reinforce that. This is the boring bit of spline placement where you just make sure that the super long splines are actually got after going the way that you want them to. Because sometimes they'll go off on a really weird tangent that you don't want. Much like stories. That looks... that bit there looks like it's actually on the road. Because it is! Okay, spline's too close to the road there, let's push back. Let's push back. And we'll push this bit back here. Like that. I'm just gonna nudge it back a small bit from the road here, just to make sure that I don't end up with a situation where there's no actual room to move. I'm also going to move this down like that, and this one down like this, just to kind of smooth off that corner. But this isn't going to be a map where you're going to be able to get the biggest equipment around. You'll be very lucky to get... I would kind of be willing to guess much more than 6-meter equipment you're gonna be struggling with. It looks like it kind of bounces out onto the road here. No, that's good. That's good. That's a good spline. Unicorns into... unicorns and rainbows! No, I don't think I'll put unicorns and rainbows in. So that's all been placed by one spline. And now I can go into the repository of bushes, which we'll now take another look at. So let's see. Let's do some planning here. We're coming close to the point where things are going to be going in manually. I'll need another spline going across here and another one going across here with an entrance to the field. Same here, same along here. Up along here there's going to be some splines needed for hedging. Same there, and there. That little bit can be hedged. I want to hedge this area here. No, I can. No, actually, I've just come up with a better idea. Don't talk like that when I'm not in game. Fun thing when I'm doing the G streams, I can mod chat myself. Yeah, it's some objects and still doesn't work. You need to... it's difficult to learn, I'll be honest. Plus I'm trying to... Valtraman, I'm trying to work on the map myself here. And right now I'm having some thinky moments. Mods are slacking. I know, NHF! And as a word of advice for anybody who's starting off with YouTube. Sub for sub? No. Worst thing you can do. It'll get you lots of subscribers, yeah, but every single one of them will fake. Every single subscriber will be fake. And it doesn't matter if the mods are slacking today, I can pick it up myself. Looking at my masterpiece, Pedro. If I add in the walls, the barbed wire fences and the wooden fences, you can actually see how much I've done recently. So in one day I completed this area up here. That was about a third of a day's work. This is now its second kind of full day of work. And it's come together pretty quickly. And actually, there's 38 people here right now. I should probably say there won't be a multiplayer video this week. Sim's got some personal stuff going on. Fahi's been working his butt off. And I don't think there'll be much of a point in me and Chris just going in. And doing it by ourselves. So we're gonna scrap the recording this week. What I'll do instead is I'll record some more work on the map tonight and I'll put that up on Saturday. Actually, I can't do that tonight because I gotta record tomorrow's video. Any idea why the script makes the scale 1 for hedges? Because everything makes the scale 1 for hedges. What you gotta do, you gotta go into your script editing window, and what I've got here is, you can see local random scale here. I've got that set to false, which means everything's gonna be scaled 1. If you want the scale to be anything other than 1, you have to hard code it in here with local random scale being true. If you want the Y to be 0.75, which is set up for the wooden fences here, you have to set the low and high limits to 0.75. So you can hard code that it'll have a specific height and a specific scaling, but you have to set the low and high limits the same, so that the quote-unquote random scale actually forces a scale. Any more walls? There's plenty of walls. I'm going to be putting in a lot of walls in the near future. I'm just kind of like, at present the bits that are highlighted in blue are walls. So there's quite a bit of walls. What I'm doing right now is I'm focusing on the hedges because I've got the script set up for hedges. And you can also freeze the scale so it resets itself to 1, yes. Add some dark oak, it's so empty. Well, there is George. There's George. Off over in his corner there. There's George. He will be getting friends. Fear not. But we need to remove this spline now. We need to go back down into the map. And I've come to the conclusion that an nav speed of 25 is actually perfect for me. Why does that not quite meet up there? That's supposed to be an entrance? Nope, that's just a screw up on my part. Is it a screw up though? No, it's not, because now I can use that to start the next spline, which can go around to... Just to be kind of nice, we're gonna have an entrance here. Just marked out in dirt there so that I can see it when I'm going around with the spline. Copy, paste, course placement. So we'll start it. Okay. And we'll end it over this little dirt area here, like that. We're going to need a buttload of middle points on this spline again, because we're going around corners. That arrow key thing, Dusty Dave told me, is a lifesaver. If you guys want to get into mapping, feel free to ask questions about mapping and what. What scale is this map? 1 to 1. It's a 2x map. So I've taken 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers of a real area, got the terrain data for it, used that to make a DEM, copied the real life fields for the most part. Some of them have been tweaked. And now what I'm doing is I'm just working on hedging and that sort of stuff. These are way too far back from the road. But Lord Dave, what were you thinking? A bit closer, please, sir. And you can come a bit closer, please, sir. And you can come a bit closer, please, sir. You can actually move down this way. That. You can come this way. Is that a big... Oh, it's a big old chunk taken out of the roadway here. Why is this? Why is this bit so weird? I get the feeling it's because it wouldn't behave and I got annoyed with it. Bit more terrain work. Because I'm finalizing the roads now is what I'm doing. It's a very simple way to do it, but it works. How did I copy the... Oh god, Alex and David's here! Okay, now I'm scared. Well, not scared, intimidated. I put, basically put a map on top of the map. And I drew over the fields in the real map. I mean, this is the first time you've seen him here? He comes in every so often, but now I'm ever so slightly terrified. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Hey, that's better. Come on, that'll do. Back to this bloomin' spline. That can go in like that. Ooh. In like that. And now that's too close to the road, so it's gonna... No, don't! Oh, dang it. Hey! There. There. We all have different ways, yeah. Plus, I mean, you can give me some true expert advice. Unlike Matt. I don't know if you've used this, Dave, but this spline placement script is an absolute godsend because pop, done. And why does it keep doing this? Yes, I know that's where you started. There's no need to leave a giant totem pole behind. I think this might actually rival Thornton's Roads in terms of player annoyance factor. Because you're not going to get anything more than 6 meters down these roads. You're going to struggle to get a large trailer down here, I think. Which may prove more problematic than intended, but comical at the same time. You got too much patience, dude. This spline placement script is the lazy man's being actually fast at it. Also, I'm too much of a perfectionist, so I'm doing literally what would have been about a month's work today. So I'm not gonna complain about having the spline placement script.
Is that Dave?
Ross Redmond, hello. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. Plus, I mean, it's a time saver. You ended up spending, or I don't end up spending 5 minutes per hedge when it's 2-3 minutes per spline. There. 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 There, and that point can go away. Bada boom. Another field hedged off. I'll need to move hedges in time, but for now it's hedged off. Looking good, well thank you very much. You don't mind too, Farmer Brown? I don't mind you saying that today at all. Because it is just a case of him being probably the best mapper in Farm Sim at the moment. Wish my alt key would stop sticking. What do I want to do here? Because this field's going to need an entrance, and I think I'm going to give it two. I'm going to give it one here, and one here. So you can use this field as a cut through if needed. Ooh! So I'm going to need a short spline first. We'll do the short splines first. I'm just going to start from here. Go to here via here. And just oops. Didn't have the correct transform group selected. Stop making totem poles! I'm gonna need another shortish spline. Over here. It'll start. I'm gonna flip this entirely because of course I am. Start there, go to there. Via there. Choose the correct transform group, Dave. Ooh. Oh, for the love of... I enjoy how quickly this all comes together with spline placements. I think this is how the people who throw out 16 maps in a game actually do it, is they just spline place everything. Hey Alberta! What's the name of the map? Duneske. Should be in the title. How come on some maps there's bits of crop on the outside of the fields you can't plow or harvest? Very easy, very simple. Whoever made the map went a bit overboard with the terrain brush and forgot to fix it. Or didn't know it was a bit overboard in the first place. Because I could cause that here as well. And like some of it, if I were to go... where is it? I'm just going to go to 42 here to get over here real quick. If I were to go over here, most of... well, these 7 items here in this yard can't actually be ploughed. Because they're additional stuff and they're just marked as not being able to be ploughed. But they're there for decoration purposes only to make, well, roads look pretty like that. I'm just going to call it Duneske. It's actually an area nearby the area called Duneske in real life. But it is kind of based on a real townsland near me. The actual townsland is called... I can't remember the name of it, but it is near the actual townsland called Duneske. Okay. I don't know if the intersect point there is going to work, but it should. Well, I don't know if it's going to work as I plan it to. I want it to, but it will work. you want splines to intersect points, you need to place the point. This one can go there. There. And now it's time to fine-tune the spline, because everybody loves that. Isn't this the most fun thing in the world, fine-tuning a spline, because it just never seems to work the way you want it to? Can I fine-tune this? Okay, so this one's not going to go on the corner itself, it's going to go like over here somewhere. Needs to be moved closer to that, like that. Closer again. So every time you move a single point in the spline, it'll affect other points on the same spline, which can get quite irritating at times, but kind of makes sense. So I call the spline itself a rope, because you're pulling on different parts of the rope as you go along, and it causes different bits of tension on different areas. Like, I think I explained it to Sim as you're putting a rope through a series of pulleys. Every time you move one of the pulleys, the entire rope is affected. I did see the way you suggested to Fahy, but my way is the way that I'm comfortable with. Matt, and there's probably 1,000 other ways you could do the splines. That is atrocious. Not good enough, Dave. There's probably 2,000 or 3,000 different ways you could do these splines, and the way that I'm doing them is the way that I'm most comfortable with. Which really, at the end of the day, is all that matters, is what am I comfortable with in terms of these things, not how somebody else does it. Sounds like I'm knocking Matt's way of doing it, but it's different. He moves the end point along and puts the intermediate points down as he goes along, as opposed to me, where I put the start and end points down and then put all the intermediate points in between and treat it like a rope. That is going onto the road. No, it's not. That is much better. It actually looks like the road was built and the hedges kind of overgrew a bit. That's delicious. There we go. I do enjoy how for every mapper there's a different way of doing absolutely everything. Especially like mappers that start using scripts in G, like me and Matt and Faye, where it's just time-saving scripts. Which, how are these getting along here? Okay, so I need to put... Oh, I'm nearly done. I need to put, you know, the totem poles there. No, I didn't create a totem pole that time. Unless I put one under the map. Oh, dang it. No, I need that. I need that to be down there. That's my console. That lets me know when things have gone wrong. That is incredibly important. No undermap totem poles. That is good. You can put in double the amount of hedges in a third of the time, and when you start getting more and more confident with it, when you get up to like being 100% sure you know what you're doing, you'll be able to place 10-11 times the amount of hedges in a quarter of the time. Because I placed probably today what I would have placed in about a month. in what, just under 2 hours. So before that would have taken me the better part of a month, now it's taking me 2 hours. And it's just a case of getting used to doing it in a different way. I mean, this is just... I could do it all manually, I could place everything manually, but it is a case of... Oh, we got a totem pole. It's effectively a case of, well, I don't have the time to do this all manually. I'm trying to work on videos and whatnot in the meantime. Like even tonight I won't be able to do much on the map because I'll be working on a video for tomorrow. Puts that in. Put that down, okay. So I can realistically link this field and this field into this yard here. So this is going to be a yard. I'm just going to write that down here. Yard. It's visible. And this is going to be a yard, I think. And this over here, just for my own future reference, is the VGA. And it becomes kind of easy to write when you can't see what you're doing. I will be honest. That's the placeable area. This is probably going to be... This here, actually, this little area here is probably going to be the shop. This is going to be like sell points. So cells. And stuff. This is going to be just a yard of some description, and this is going to be the cow yard. Website pigs. No, I actually do want to move the cow nav mesh, as it turns out, into the other field, which is why I had it set up for cows. For optimization reasons, it's still going to be like right beside the sheep. The shop. Yeah, so this is going to be the cow yard. Oh god, Dan's here too. WWE just made a deal. So they deleted the previous arrangements? And of course, you know I had to make that pun. If I have these three fields, we'll say access there, access from like here, and access here from this yard. That means I can pretty much hit off these three fields and have just access going straight in there. This field's going to be painful if I have, again, access. This map's going to have a lot of yards, but they're all going to be pretty small. That could be access to that field there. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to work actually. There's going to be lots of yards, but they're all going to be quite small. Get a lot more done if I wasn't graffitiing everywhere. I'm writing down notes to myself. By the way, if you guys want to write notes to yourself in GE, what I like to do is choose poplars. This is going to sound really stupid. Growth stage 6. And you can write stuff. And you can get it as... Because the way poplars work, I don't think this is intended, but you can pretty much just do this. And get it super thin. That's not even super thin. You get it super thin and it's still not super thin. You can basically write with individual poplars. Which I'm not sure if that was an intended thing or not, but it's a thing you can do. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what the yards look like too, Dave, because I have no idea what I'm going to do with them yet. It's going to be like 2-3 sheds per yard. You're going to have your equipment split over the entire map, because I hate everybody. No, in all seriousness, it's the kind of map where I think you'll want to be exploring a bit. So having, we'll say, a seeder here, spray over here, cultivator over here. Actually, this is probably going to be the biggest yard you get. So your combine will probably be here and be working out of this yard. It kind of... Number one, forces you to go around the map instead of just staying in one place always and forever. But number two, and this is kind of important at the same time. What sheds am I going to use? I have no idea. I might make my own. Might be a lunatic and make my own hedges. Was that... not hedges. Sheds. Because that won't end badly for me at all. But there's a lot of little tricks in G that don't really stand out as being tricks until you discover them. Well, I'm honored, Dusty Dave. Because this is literally just the map that I wanted to be in Farm Sim. It's just an Irish map based relatively near me with tight lanes that'll... Everybody's gonna hate the lanes. I am calling it now, everybody's gonna hate the lanes. Because I'm probably gonna hate the lanes. But I'm gonna keep it because that's part of the character of the map is the lanes are evil. And it's just kind of an Irish map that actually feels Irish. Which it seems not many people are able to do. And it's kind of infuriating. Especially for somebody who just literally all I wanted in Farm Sim for the last... I started playing in FS13, so the last 4 years I've been looking for an Irish map. And I've not found one. And it's been infuriating, and I came to the conclusion in FS15 the only way I was going to get the Irish map that I wanted was to make my own. And the only way... You know, if you want something in Farm Sim badly enough, you'll make it. I can personally guarantee it. It's... Oh my god, what's it done this time? That's not a... No, that's not how hedges work, GE. They don't just randomly fly off and it... Just... I don't think you'll be able to get around this corner. Yeah, you might. I'm gonna leave it like that, because that looks fun. That looks like a challenge, that area there. Not the last 4 years, Lewis, but definitely... Because Sim was looking at an old video of mine the other day that he was telling me about. I've been working on this map since 2015. 2015 I started work on the map. So it's probably close on 2 years I've been working on this. So it's reaching Ing's farm levels of time investment. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to finish this eventually. I'm gonna try as many time-saving scripts as I can. I'm not looking forward to trying to define these fields. Field definitions is gonna be the absolute worst thing in the world ever, but it's a problem for another day. I can put barbed wire fence there. That's not going to be an issue. Then I can hedge up to kind of there and put another wall there or something. So what I'll do is I'll put one more set of hedges in today and then we'll call it a stream. Yeah, if it's something you want in the game, you're gonna end up with something that's pretty good quality. Especially if it's something that you want to be a specific way. You're gonna put in a stupid amount of effort to get it that way. That is... oh, this is gonna be a painful spline, I think. Also, if you spam the arrow keys, you can get through the individual spline blips, whatever you want to call them. Honestly, don't know what they're called. So I'm just going to call them blips. Not blips, blips, with a U and an O. B-L-O-U-P-S-S-S-S. All the extra S's are completely necessary. Blipses. Reading Jelly Snakes, very nice, Dark Phantom. NHF has got to go. Let's see how well this goes. Execute. Well, on the bright side, it didn't create a random totem pole. Oh wait, no, under the map. Yeah, no random totem pole, so that's a bonus. The downside, it did just stop like a full hedge away from where I wanted it to stop, which is annoying. You're supposed to stop there, like that, so I can put a gate in or something. So that's... yeah, I'm almost done with hedges. If I can get into G tonight, I should finish the hedges on this map. Because there's only about 6 splines worth of hedges to do. And when I started this stream, this central area over here was almost empty. Now it's very full. Hello, John Rogers. Like 2 hours later, it's very full. You can get a lot of work done in 2 hours if you have a vague idea of what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And mine was just get more hedges in. You can get a lot done. And it might not be the most fun stuff in the world. I know G can be very boring. I know that it's not entertaining, but it's interesting. And it's a lot easier than you might think. Because you look at maps and you think, oh my god, that's so complicated. Look at all the different moving parts. And you realize, well, each individual moving part is very easy to put in. I mean, you look at the moving parts on the map. Am I going to make it hard next stream? No, maybe. What I actually want to do after the hedges are in is I want to start work on field definitions, which... that's going to be fun. Field definitions is the most boring thing. But I actually do want to get working on field definitions. And finalizing the actual field shapes. As well as... so I'm just looking here. I want to move the pigs. This is literally something I've just decided because I was looking at the map as a whole. The pigs, which it's... why did I write that in forest ground? Good lord, Dave. Concrete. That. Opacity of 1. Dave, you absolute loon. Why did you write that in forest? Oh, screw it. Grass. This is gonna make things easier. Don't want the pigs to be there anymore. This is just gonna be a yard. so that one's going to be yard. Very roughly done, because I want the pigs to actually go into this kind of area here. So if I just... Oh, it's poppers I still got selected. If I were to just draw a really thin line like that, and a really thin line like that, just write pigs there. Because the best way to optimize a map is to keep everything away from itself. Everything away from each other. So you got the cows over here, the sheep are going to be here, and then just down the road from the sheep are going to be the pigs. But they're all kind of distance away from each other, so they're not all at the 1 yard, going to cause problems. But that is going to do for the stream today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow with I don't know what, possibly Thornton. I haven't actually come to a decision yet. There's a small chance that I'll get an email with something that you might like. You know, there's a small chance that I'll get something that I might want to throw up on stream instead of Farm Sim or anything like that. But as things stand, it's probably going to be either Thornton or Pemberlin V2. I'm going to leave you by saying, I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator, well, you've been watching Giants Editor, you've been watching Duneske, my own map, which is coming together at a really good pace now, and I'm pleased with it. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.